Hey there folks, this is DMC Jedi Man, and I'm coming to you with another video. This one's going to be a little bit different than some of my other videos. This is actually a subscriber request. Belgium Comics wanted me to do a video about the comic books I'm currently reading and subscribing to, so I figured I'd do a video for them on that. So Belgium Comics, if you're watching, this video is for you, but hopefully others will get enjoyment out of it too. So I'm pretty big in the comics, even though I don't get all the titles. Even some titles I maybe would get, or there's just too many of them to really keep track of. But I do have my favorites. You know, some titles I've loved before have come and gone. You know, some of them being Squirrel Girl, who I'm representing with the shirt here. I was also a big fan of the Lumberjanes comic while that was happening, and that unfortunately had no longer is coming out. Another one I found pretty amusing was Pretty Violent with lots of swears. You know, those are a few of the comic titles I've subscribed to before. Obviously, anytime there's a new Darkwing Duck comic, you know, I'll subscribe to that, but haven't gotten any of those in a while. There's also not been any new Ghostbusters or Back to the Future comics in a while. I used to subscribe to any of those. But this is going to be a bit of a long video, so I'm going to show off the ones I've gotten from the past few months. You know, kind of explain why I get them. You know, I'm not going to go into really spoiler territory, because some of these you should check out for yourselves. Anyway, so we'll start off. I've been getting the Mighty Morphin comics. You know, actually, I pretty much get almost every Power Ranger comic they get, but the one I'm starting off here with is Mighty Morphin. This focuses on specifically the Mighty Morphin team, you know, and their continued fights against the evils of Lord Zed and other intergalactic threats. They've been pretty good, though. You know, the covers are always pretty good. This one here's issue 15. And I got issue 16 here. I love the fact that they brought in the Green Ranger to coexist with the White Ranger. Won't tell you who he is, but you should check it out. You know, also got issue number 17 here. That's specifically Mighty Morphin, you know. Then we got Power Rangers, which is kind of the other half, because this focuses on a group of Rangers called the Omega Rangers, which are Jason, Zach, and Trini. You know, and this is their quests across the stars to bring peace to the universe. But got issue 15 here. Also issue 16 and issue 17. There's another Ranger title that's coming out intermittently called Power Rangers Unlimited. There'll be a new issue of that sometime in the next few months, but we do have one more Power Rangers series here. Well, technically two, but that other one will be in the last bit, because I picked up my new comics today, so I'll show those off at the very end. So, Power Rangers Universe, which appears to be a story of a group of beings from another planet tapping into the morphing grid and utilizing all the Ranger powers throughout history. You know, that's why the cover has, you know, a mix of different Rangers. So every single cover from the ones I've gotten, I do intend to get the rest of them in this cover style, but each one focuses on a different color, and each one has one Mighty Morphin Ranger. Red, blue, and yellow for issues 1 through 3. Issue 4, which I got today, features the Pink Ranger. Issue 5 will have Black Rangers, and issue 6, thankfully, will have the Green Rangers with the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger on the cover. He's my fave. This next comic is actually something I got in a Ghostbusters Ectotron Transformer. You know, I believe it's a variant cover to issue 1 of Ghostbusters Transformers. You know, never been the biggest Transformers fan. I liked the first Michael Bell movie, and I think the second one's kind of okay-ish. Third one was awful. I haven't seen the other two. I didn't really grow up watching Transformers, so I don't have the same kind of appreciation that other folks like my buddy Will Santana has for them. I do have a little DeLorean Transformer, though, as well as a vintage Optimus Prime with trailer and a more recent movie Optimus and some of the Camaro Bumblebees. I do intend, and Ectotron, obviously. I have Ectotron. And I do intend to get Gigawatt at some point as well. Next up, we got Ghost Rider, issue number 1 of the relaunch. Now, this one, I really only subscribed to it to get issue number 3, because it features Ghost Rider taking on, like, this demonic truck, and I'm a sucker for, like, haunted, possessed vehicle stories, so had to get that issue. I ended up getting issue 1. I think issue 2 comes out next week, which I'll get it through issue 3 and maybe issue 4 if the truck story continues on a bit, but once the truck story's done, I'm probably going to cancel this one. Don't get me wrong, I do like Ghost Rider. I actually really like the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider movie, the first one, not the second one. The second one was awful. And I do like some of the different interpretations of Ghost Rider, whether he be riding a motorcycle or whether he be in a 1969 Dodge Charger that's aflame. But that's Ghost Rider. Venom. Now, this is the most recent Venom series where Eddie Brock is not Venom in this. It's actually someone else. They've been okay, not quite as good as I'd hoped they'd be, but they're not bad reads, and Eddie Brock is still in the comic. But we got issue 4 here, also got issue 5, and issue 6. Also, any of these where I'm like, I got issue 4, 5, and 6, don't worry, I have the other ones. I just, they're tucked away in my long boxes of comics, and got way too many of them, and it's a little too hard to get to them quite so easily for me to just pull out the entire runs. Plus, if I did that, this video would probably be like 5 hours long. I don't think anybody wants to watch a 5-hour-long video of me talking about comics. But like I said, these are okay. I like the Spider-Man universe, but I'm a sucker for a symbiote. Always have been, Venom and Carnage. So even though I don't collect the main Spider-Man titles unless there's a symbiote involved, I do try and get the symbiote-specific comics. Speaking of symbiotes, we have Carnage Forever, and this is actually a one-shot lead-in to Carnage number 1. Again, symbiotes are awesome. Carnage is actually the scarier of the two, because Venom has always had that little bit of a moral code to him. He was a lethal protector, if you will. Some of you will definitely get the reference. But Carnage has never had the same inhibitions. So these were both good reads. I'm actually really curious to see where the Carnage story goes with these. Next up, we got Death of Doctor Strange number 5. This one was a little different. I love the Doctor Strange movie, and Benedict Cumberbatch's, portrayal of him. But seeing how this literally said it was the death of Doctor Strange, I had to tune into it. So I have all 5 issues of it. It was a decent read. A little odd at times, but good read. Next up, we have the Harley Quinn animated series Eat, Bang, Kill Tour. Got issues 5 and issue 6 here. This was a fun little read. I actually haven't seen the animated series yet. I have the first season on DVD. I gotta sit down and watch it. I'm terrible when it comes to catching up on some things. Like, I'm a couple seasons behind on The Flash. I just finished watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, for goodness sake. By the way, that show fucking rocks. And check it out if you are into anime or cartoons. You will not be disappointed. But yeah, this was a fun little series. I'll also mention right now, since I'm reminded, I don't get many DC titles. It doesn't help that, with the way previews is nowadays, it's hit or miss whether we get the Marvel or DC previews into the comic shop I shop at. But one other title I am subscribed to, but I don't have any issues pulled out to show you guys, and it's been a little while since the last issue, but Batman 89. That's a sequel comic book to Batman Returns, and it follows up on Fred's, in Batman and Batman Returns. Like, you actually get to see the Billy D. Williams version of Harvey Dent become Two-Face in this. It also follows up on, Catwoman, and does a good job of integrating things that it sounds like would have been in the third Batman sequel by Tim Burton if Tim Burton had stayed to make it. Who knows, they might even touch on some of that in that new Flash movie. Anyway, next up for comics, though, is Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, I was a huge fan of the Archie Sonic comics. The IDW ones are okay. They don't have the same feel as the Archie ones did, though. I mean, considering the Archie ones were spun off from, the Sat AM cartoon, it's kind of hard to top that. These have had some good moments. They've introduced a few cool new characters, and had a few neat story ideas, but I just don't feel it as much as, the old Archie Sonic comics. But being a Sonic fan, I'll continue subscribing to them. But this one here is issue number 48. They're almost to issue number 50. They also have a lot of side comics, including this one, Imposter Syndrome. This is issue number 2. This is actually a variant cover, and it's quite a really cool variant cover, too, since it's meant to invoke, the original, the cover for the video games. Very cool. Also got issue 3 of Imposter Syndrome. Yeah, the characters in this one, gosh, I'm drawing a blank on their names now. Actually, gotta look and see what... Oh yeah, Surge and Kit, the two new characters in this. I think they're going to give Sonic and Tails a run for their money. I think the next issue will actually feature them clashing. Next up is Rick and Morty. Again, this comic series, I subscribe to pretty much everything of Rick and Morty for the comics. Right here we got Corporate Assets. Got issue 3 and issue 4, which was the finale to Corporate Assets. That was an interesting story that brought Gluty back. I'm sure anyone familiar with Rick and Morty remember Gluty and the troubles his app brought. We also have a couple issues here of the Rick and Morty Presents comics. These are called Rick and Morty Presents Heretics of Rick and Rick and Morty Presents Morty's Run. Now, the Morty's Run, I think, is a parody of Logan's Run. I've actually never seen that, but it was pretty interesting. Heretics of Rick. Let's see if I can get a refresher. Oh yeah, I remember that one. It was it was similar to Dune, I think, at least in parts of it. But interesting comic, to say the least. And there's a lot of different Rick and Morty, offshoots, including this next one, which is Rick and Morty versus Dungeons and Dragons. This is the spin-off, the Meeseeks adventure, where it has basically a Meeseeks becoming a god-tier character in Dungeons and Dragons. Pretty good, it's a one-shot, but it was an enjoyable read. Okay, next up. Obviously, as you can see from the giant, come on, thumb, point the right way. The giant cardboard Lego Star Wars standee behind me. Also, by the way, Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga comes out April 5th, and I'm so excited for that. But as you can tell from that and some of the other Star Wars stuff you can see in the background, I'm a bit of a Star Wars nerd. Specifically, I love Star Wars books and comics and everything. I actually, so I subscribe to every single Star Wars title, which it adds up very quickly. You know, I can't really afford all of the larger books, but I try and get all the novels, even though I'm a few behind. You know, and I definitely get all the comics. So we'll start off the Star Wars comic area, or with Star Wars: The High Republic. Honestly, this is actually my first exposure to the High Republic era. Has been the High Republic comic books. I actually only recently got the first novel from the High Republic, and I actually haven't even read it yet. I'm halfway through a wonderful Clive Cussler book. R.I.P. Clive Cussler, by the way. He was a great writer. Passed away back in 2020. You know, if you like, you know, action, adventure, mysteries, he's your guy. Also, if you have a love of nautical, he's your guy. But anyway, so the High Republic comics have been taking place, you know, in the High Republic, which features a bunch of brand new characters. I think the only returning character I've seen in the High Republic is Master Yoda. You know, we're 900 years old. You reach. Look as good Yoda. But anyway, we got issue 13 here. I got issue number 14 and issue number 15. And this issue culminates in the destruction of the Starlight Beacon. But these are, they're interesting reads. They've given me a bit of backstory on some of these characters, and I'm hoping that some of the same characters will be in the books. You know, and they'll be a bit more fleshed out. Next, actually, before I do that one, let's finish up with High Republic eras. So, the next up, High Republic Eye of the Storm. I got issues 1 and issue 2 here. You know, again, continuing on through the High Republic stuff. Pretty good reads. It's fleshing out what seems to be the main villain of the High Republic series, Marchion Ro. Can't wait to see where that one ends up. Then we got High Republic Trial of Shadows. Got issues 4 and 5 here of that. You know, that's another one of the side stories of High Republic. Though it's taking place concurrently with the main series, as you can tell from the exploding starlight, you know, in the background. I also been getting the Star Wars High Republic Adventures comics. We got this one, which is issue 12, the retail incentive cover. Also got issue 13 here. These ones are meant to be more lighthearted. They're set in the same universe, but you know, the stories feature a lighter tone since the Adventures comics are geared more at a younger demographic. Hence why one of the things that was made was the Star Wars The High Republic Adventures Galactic Bake-Off special. It was a fun little read, you know, since thankfully it didn't just feature, you know, them cooking. It actually featured some stories inspired, you know, by the things they were cooking. Neat little read, though. Not necessarily a comic, but I picked this up from my comic store. I had it, you know, ordered. The Story of the Fateful Wookiee, a little golden book that's basically adapting the Boba Fett's first appearance cartoon from the Star Wars Holiday Special. Hashtag Disney release the Star Wars Holiday Special. Come on. It's not in Lucas's hands anymore. He can't stop you. We will buy it. Okay. Public rant over. Next up, we got Star Wars Crimson Reign. Now, this is the second series in, I believe, a trilogy of stories. It started with the War of the Bounty Hunters crossover comic that happened last year that tied all the Star Wars comics that weren't High Republic together. You know, this one picks up from where that one left off, and I imagine that this will go up until about the beginning of Return of the Jedi, or maybe the third series will pick up, and carry on to that part. But these have been really interesting, especially getting to actually see certain characters. Like, one of my favorite characters I'm learning more about in this is Ochi of Bestoon. For those who don't know the name, he was the one who was commissioned by Palpatine to bring Rey to him, and instead he dropped her off on Jakku. So, really, really interesting stuff. This story also features the return of Kiara from Solo, a Star Wars story. So, each time one of these comes out, I can't wait to read it to see where things progress. I mean, I feel like it's going to end badly, especially for Kiara. I mean, I know Ochi eventually dies. I mean, obviously we see his, dilapidated ship and skeleton in Rise of Skywalker, so he has to die sometime before Rise of Skywalker. I don't know if they'll show that in these, possibly, but like I said, I got issues 2 and 3 here of that. Then up next we have what's simply titled Star Wars. I got issues 20 and 21. The Star Wars comics focus specifically on our main heroes, Luke, Leia, Chewie, and Lando. No Han at this point, because these specific comics take place after Empire, so currently Han Solo is frozen in a block of carbonite. But they've been really fun reads, and we got Star Wars Bounty Hunters, which, although you would think Boba Fett would be the main character of this, it's actually Valance, the half-robot bounty hunter, who was originally introduced all the way back in Marvel Star Wars number 16. Like the vintage Marvel Star Wars from the 1978, maybe 79, but I think 78 is closer to release year for that. But this is a great series, it does follow him mostly, but you do get appearances from all the other major hunters that are active at this point. Bosch has been in it, Zuckuss and Forlome, IG-88, Boba Fett, so that's been a great read. And we got Darth Vader, got issue 20 here. Obviously, this focuses specifically on Vader, but Ochi of Bestoon is also a major player in this one, as well as an unexpected character, one of Padme's handmaidens. That's a story, Fred. I'd like to see where they go with that, but great read. It delves into Vader's, psyche and his motivations very well. And we got issue 18 of Dr. Aphra. This is a character that was created specifically for the comics. She's kind of like Indiana Jones, but with a lot less scruples, though she does have her moments. Not many of them, but she does have them. Although I have to say, I really miss the two psychopathic murder droids that she used to hang out with. Because she had a black 3PO unit and a little R2 unit, which were BT-1 and 000, I believe their designations were. And they were awesome. Easily some of the best characters. And because I had watched the Star Wars farce Aeronauts, the kind of dance party, weird drug Star Wars parody thing, I could only imagine 000 speaking with, at least I think it's 000 is the protocol droid. It could be the other designation. They haven't been in the comics for a while, but I could only hear him speaking with the creepio voice they gave the Aeronaut spinoff. Another cool character that actually came out in this, who you've actually seen recently if you've been watching Book of Boba Fett on Disney Plus, Black Chrysanthemum. He made his debut in, I think he made his debut in Dr. Aphra. Either that or he made his debut in the main Star Wars comics, but he was a big player in the Dr. Aphra comics. But that's issue 18 of that. Then I've got the regular Star Wars Adventures comic. You know, this, again, it's more youth-oriented. You know, but they do feature some pretty cool stories. This particular one had a story of Rey, you know, rescuing a guy that was going to help him, as well as a character who, I guess, oh yeah, she basically got saved by a nil? Yeah. So this one even had some what am I trying to say? I just talked about them earlier. God, my memory is terrible sometimes. High Republic. They have some High Republic stories. Then next up, we got Star Wars Halcon Legacy. This, basically, these are vignettes tied together with the fact that they took place with the Halcon starship, which I believe is in Star Wars Galaxy's, you know, that new, not Galaxy's Edge, but that new hotel thing they've got, you know. But the stories have been cool. They've taken place in a few different eras. Like this first one, you know, shows off a little bit of a duel from Anakin and Asajj Ventress, and then it shifts in the High Republic era. The second issue of this, which I actually have a little farther down the pile since it's a lot more recent, has Aura Singh on it, though I haven't read that issue yet. I'm a little behind on my comics for reading. Not by much, at least not for the new ones. Then next up we have the brand new series, Han Solo and Chewbacca, featuring everybody's favorite smuggler. I have to say this first issue is really good. I can't wait to see where it goes, though it does drop a bit of a bombshell at the end. You know, a bombshell by the name of Ovan. I'm not going to say any more because to do so would be a spoiler, but probably should check that out. Also, when it comes to Star Wars, I have to get parody issues when I find them, so I had to get this, the Mangolorian. It was a pretty fun little issue. You know, I laughed at a few things. He even has Spaceballs stuff in it. That was funny. But that was the Mangolorian. And keep in mind, I don't just buy my comics, you know, from the comic store. I do that a lot. But I do also sometimes track down issues from older titles I didn't have the full set of, or other comics that have a certain reason I should get them. Case in point, I picked up this comic in the past month, issue 43 of the Dark Horse Star Wars. That was Rite of Passage Part 2, which was the last issue I needed to have the full Dark Horse Star Wars run. I mean, there are other Dark Horse Star Wars comics I don't have, but the comic series Star Wars, which basically it went from issue 1 up until issue 45 being called Star Wars. For issue 46, it was retitled Star Wars Republic, which lasted until issue 83, which then became the comic The Dark Times. So I picked that up. Another one I picked up recently, though for sad reasons, I got this copy of issue 5 of Dark Empire, which is signed by Tom Vetch. Of course, Tom Vetch passed away earlier this month. R.I.P. Tom Vetch. You know, I found this on eBay and got it for a very cheap price. I actually had a Tom Vetch autograph before, but it wasn't on a Star Wars comic. It was on a issue of Animal Man, I think it was called. So after his passing, I knew I wanted to have something Star Wars signed by him. And then these aren't really comics either, but I'm going to show these off because I do get them from my comic store. The Star Wars Insider. Now, we are currently up to issue 209 on this. Though the Star Wars Insider, for anyone who doesn't know, started out as the Lucasfilm Fan Club magazine. I don't have every issue of it from that incarnation, but as of issue 23, when it became the Star Wars Insider, I have every single issue. Impressive. Most impressive. But that was those. One more comic. This one's another one I ordered on eBay. Disney Primer #1, because it has Darkwing Duck right on the cover, along with Godzilla. Also has a cool little promo for the Disney Afternoon comic inside with alternate art. So I think I'll show off the other comics I got today first, because there's a couple new ones. First off, as I stated, issue 2 of Halcon Legacy, which features Aura Singh on the cover. I got issue number 21 today of Darth Vader, and issue number 19 of Dr. Aphra. This is a new series I started today, though. One of 2 new series. Venom, Lethal Protector. This harkens back to the old days of Venom, back when he was a hero of sorts, or I guess you'd say an anti-hero, on the streets of San Francisco, far away from Spider-Man and his tangled web. Can't wait to check that series out. As I stated before, issue 4 of Power Rangers Universe, which features Pink Rangers on the cover. This one, though, I was excited about this one. I gotta give a shout out to a friend of mine who's big into this series, well, part of the series, Mike Russo, because we got Godzilla versus Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This is issue 1. I actually wanted to get both main covers for this, because obviously I'm a big fan of the Green Ranger, so having him there is awesome, but check out this other cover, the one right here. That is awesome. So at some point when I can afford it, I will go eBay hunting and get that cover as well, but I cannot wait to read this issue. There's one other thing I do subscribe to, and we got a new issue of it today. This is issue 403 of Previews Magazine. Now, this features all of the stuff to order for comics and toys and whatnot. And it's 2-sided. The other side has a cool Gargoyles cover. So I'll probably actually keep this one after, just because, with Gargoyles on the cover, it fits into my Disney Afternoon collections. But I get this every month. Now, they used to come with a DC and a Marvel little magazine, that would show what they get, but they don't ship them the same way. So, unfortunately, the previews, usually I only get the regular one and sometimes the Marvel one. Up until last month, it had been a long time since I'd gotten a DC one. I did get a DC one last month. I'm hoping that maybe I'll get it this month, because it'd be nice to at least see if there's anything in the DC universe I want. And then there's one last little bit I'm going to show off, because I'm going to go through these kind of quick, since these came out of the quarter bin of my local comic shop. So I picked up this Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man. I got this issue of Star Wars Adventures, because with multiple covers, I wasn't sure if it was a cover I didn't have, and for a quarter, you can't go wrong. I got this issue of Axe Cop, President of the World. Axe Cop is awesome. You should check it out. I got this interesting little comic called Tim Reaper. I was sucked in by the cool art and the pizza. I like pizza. I got issues 4 and 5 of Batman the Max Arkham Dreams. I mostly got it for the Max because that was a fairly interesting, if messed up, story. I picked up issue number 2 of The Incredibles 2 Slow Burn. The Incredibles are cool characters. I picked up this comic called Death or Glory. I believe this is issue number 9. They had a lot of other issues there. I mostly got it because of the big truck and the Camaro on the front. I'm going to check this out. If I like it, the next time I go, I'll probably grab every single other issue they had there. Picked up this cool Army of Darkness Bubba Hotep comic. I picked up a bunch of issues of Hit Girl. Issue 3, issue 4, Hit Girl issue 5, which is Canada, part 1 of 4. Shout out to my buddy Jordan. I got issue 10, which is Rome, part 2 of 4. Got issue 7, which is Hong Kong, part 3 of 4. And I got this one, looking to see if it says an issue number. Okay, it says issue 4, Hollywood, part 4 of 4. But yeah, that's been a look into all of the different comics that I get. I hope you've enjoyed this look at them. Anytime I get new ones in, maybe I'll do a follow-up video to this. But I hope you've all enjoyed this look at my comics, and I hope you have a marvelous day. Stay true to yourselves, true believers. Excelsior. Peace out.